Welcome along to the Ninja Tune podcast with myself, DK, and this week we're in the company of Brainfeeder artist Lapalux, who dropped by to talk about his new album Lustmore, amongst many other things. And after that, as usual, we'll have a listen to some of the brand new releases coming out on the Ninja Tune family of labels. So stay tuned for that. Joined this week by Brainfeeder recording artist Lapalux, and we're going to have a chat about his new album Lustmore, which is out in April. And we'll listen to a few tracks that have influenced him over the years. This is your second album.
Yeah, it is.
How was the process this time around? Was there many changes?
Totally, yeah. It was a whole different experience from the debut album. Really, the debut album was sort of a mix and match of other stuff that I'd been working on around a sort of similar time as the two previous EPs, and also, you know, newer stuff that I was working on at the time as well. So it was kind of a combination of all that. But this album, kind of just completely blank slate, really started to conceptualise what I wanted to do and who I wanted to work with straight off the bat, sort of thing. So it was more of a sort of structured album for me.
You're on Brainfeeder, the only British artist.
Yeah, that is still, yeah. I mean, there's a definite crossover with my style of music, I think, that crosses over the sea. Yeah, no, it's great. It feels awesome.
And are you moving to LA, I understand, is that right?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I kind of know where I want to be in music. I kind of want to focus on branching out a little and sort of getting into like film and stuff like that. I think that's where I really want to kind of develop, and I think LA's pretty much the perfect sort of place for that, and get a sort of a good crowd around me that I can kind of access different things. Do
you already know a lot of the people out there through kind of Brainfeeder connections or others?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I've been out there a couple of times now. Spent quite a bit of time just like connecting with a few different people and that, and you know, you just go out in a club somewhere and you bump into people that are sort of associated with other people that you sort of hang around with and stuff. And yeah, it's a great little scene out there.
Have you played low end?
I have, yeah, a couple of times now. Yeah.
And how was that?
It was sweaty. There was one point throughout the show I just couldn't even see anything. The sweat was just in my eyes, like dripping from the ceiling. It's like kids passing out because they smoked too much weed and shit. It was crazy.
With Gas Lamp Killer, were those sessions?
Yeah. He's crazy dude as always. But yeah, and Daddy Kev obviously putting on the events as well. And yeah, it's been really great. It's like the sort of mecca really. Went out there and everyone's like, you know, jumping off the walls and shit. It was really, really, really good.
So do you think it's going to have an effect on your sound being based in LA?
I don't know. I don't know whether it will have too much of an effect. Like wherever I am, really, I kind of lock myself away anyway. I think maybe the weather might change something a little bit, but I just switch off really whenever I'm writing music. So no matter where I am, I kind of still do that sort of process. So I can't imagine it changing too much, and I want to sort of keep the sound that is mine. Hopefully, will prevail, and yeah, I don't think it'll change too much.
When you come around, you come around. You know that I'm waiting for you. Always bring me down. You bring me down. And you know that I care for you. I care for you. I care for you. I care for you. Even if our love should grow, even if our love should grow, oh, maybe then I'll never know. Maybe then I'll never know. Maybe then I'll never know. Even if our love should grow.
So how long did this album take? Was it a easier process than last time, or when did you start work on it?
I started on it straight after Nostalgic, actually, or it was like when I'd actually just finished the record and it was getting put through the motions to actually be released. That's when I started sort of making Lustmore and really wanted to sort of branch out and mess around with new ideas. But yeah, it was a I don't know, 1.5 years of just solid, like going through the tracks, but like millions of times, just working on, like perfecting them, changing them, like remixing them and everything, till I got like really satisfied with each track. Really.
Was there any tracks that literally finished quickly and just rolled off?
Oh man, all of them were pretty. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a struggle because I was really enjoying the process, but a lot of them, I don't know, I just became so perfectionist about it. I just couldn't really see an end to any of the tracks.
Which did you actually finish first? Was there one that you could...
I actually finished the first track of the album, You Never Know, with Andreya, the first, I think. That was the first one to come together and sort of signify where I wanted to go with the rest of the album. And that game came together quite quickly. I found like working with Szjerdene and Andreya kind of quick process, because there was someone else there in the studio space to sort of bounce ideas off of, and it wasn't just such a insular sort of production.
I never meant to bring you trouble, but there's no rainbow without the rain. I try to forget about it, although the colors seem to stay.
So you say you decided quite early about using both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
How did that all come about?
Well, Andreya, I actually initially did a remix for her, and then got chatting to her a little bit after that, really. And then, yeah, we decided, I said, you know, do you want to come in the studio, and I've got some ideas, and maybe you can play around. And also on the puzzle track as well, I wrote some of the lyrics myself, and initially it was going to be me singing the actual lyrics, and then it just something wasn't right with it, really. It didn't really sit well with me, so I asked her to come in and lay something down, and it came together real quickly after that. But Szjerdene I'd known for a few years before, and we'd always said we'd work on something, but never really got around to it. And then we found the time to do it, and just came in the studio with the actual idea of a song already, and then I worked my own sort of production into it, and then it sort of materialised out of that.
We've asked you to bring in a few tracks that you know, maybe influenced you over the years, or you're just, you know, totally into. So can we have a pause and pick one of those?
Yeah, for sure.
List?
Let's go with Harold Budd. I really can't pronounce the track. I'm not even going to attempt it.
A Harold Budd track.
Yeah, a Harold Budd track. But this is a really great piece. For me, it's great inspiration for the record. Just how absolutely like thematic the whole thing is. It's like, I think it's about a 15-minute track, and yeah, it's just great. It moves through different key changes and movements, everything. It's a really, really solid track.
Cool. All right. Well, I can't guarantee 15 minutes, but we'll...
Yeah, for sure. We'll do a radio version of it, I think.
We'll have a little bit of that. Let's go back to your sort of very early days. What were the first kind of musical seeds in your mind? Can you remember anything growing up that set your path?
I think when I started playing guitar, actually, I started having lessons in guitar, and then soon after, sort of playing, you know, the general sort of Oasis and all that sort of stuff. I kind of knew I wanted to do something different with it, and play the instruments that I was playing around with, like drums as well. I kind of wanted to do things differently. I didn't want to stick into a certain formula, like doing grades and stuff like that. I kind of wanted to manipulate stuff more than just playing them live. So shortly after that, I mean, I got a good guitar for like Christmas or something like that, and I eventually got a copy of Cubase, and started just recording bits on just a little lapel microphone thing that came free with the computer or whatever. And then after that point, it was just about sort of manipulating sound and really getting into like the finer details of sound, not really focusing on how things are recorded as such, but just really about editing sounds and reversing sounds and like reverb and then mix it down and reverse it, so you have this like, you know, this like crazy like build up sort of sound. I used to make like tons of these little looping ideas and these little tracks that are somewhere still on that computer's hard drive, I think. But yeah, after that point it just became sort of a fun process that I'd do. I'd go into school, come back and then just mess around with things that I'd recorded at school and stuff, you know, people hitting the desks and stuff. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really have any real structure to it. It was just something that I found really entertaining and really fun to do. So I just stuck with that really, and it's been that way since. I still record myself like slapping the desk and stuff like that.
What were you listening to those school years? Was there anyone that you were kind of hoping to sound like or inspired you at that point?
Yeah, at that point it was kind of a weird contrast because I had a little group of friends that we'd sort of share records with. I used to go to the local library with my dad, and there'd be all these records on the CD in the library that I used to just rent out purely on the basis of just looking at the CD and being like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's in the jazz section, that's in the metal section, or that's in the, you know, just venturing around these libraries and taking as much input as I can, really. Like, I listened to like early Square Pusher, Aphex Twin stuff, and that was the stuff I really sort of attached myself to. The sort of real crazy like Auteca stuff as well, and you know, the whole like Profuse 73 and all that sort of family of music really sort of interested me. Whereas, you know, my dad's got a decent sized collection of records as well that he used to play as well. But yeah, I don't know, it's just a bit of everything really.
Is there one track from that period that stands out?
There's that Red Hot Car by Square Pusher that I always kind of remember. I always thought, oh yeah, it's fucking really strange. I didn't really understand it as a kid really. And there's a bunch of tracks like that, I think, actually, which leads on to another track that I actually selected for this mix, which is Dorine Muraille. He's a real big inspiration for me. He released this record on, I think it's Fat Cat, way back in the day, but 2003, maybe 2006, or maybe 2002, I don't know. But the whole album is called Manny, and I always reference it because it's just such a great body of work. It's like nothing I've ever heard before at that point, and nothing I've ever heard since like it as well. Just crazy, like granular synthesis, and the fact that it has no real time signatures. Everything's just a wash with sound and different like spatial panning and stuff like that. Like that's what really sparked me off into making my own stuff that's similar to that, but also appealing to beat heads and stuff like that as well.
Okay. Oh, well, let's have a listen to that track.
We lay my love and I beneath the weeping willow, alone I love, and we beside the tree, singing away by the tree that weeps with me. Singing away till my lover returns to me. We lay my love and I beneath the weeping willow, but now alone I
You've just done a Maida Vale session.
Yep.
For Radio 1's residency. How was that?
It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, it was really good. I'm still sort of in that mode right now. Actually, it was really good. I've never really performed live with anyone else before. It's usually just been me, and
what was your setup for this?
It was Szjerdene on vocals, Andreya Triana on vocals, and Mike Lesurge on keys, saxophone, and synth as well. And yeah, we got some nice Rhodes in there as well, and it was just amazing. It all came together really good. I mean, we only rehearsed for the first time the day before it. We spent all day perfecting it, but it really came together. It was a really, really good experience.
So is there going to be live versions with Andreya? And
yeah, I mean, I'd love to. And like logistic-wise, it can be a bit of an issue, but yeah, I'd love to do that. And that's definitely something I've been chatting to them about as well. And yeah, that's the way forward for me, definitely, in the live performance.
You mentioned earlier, obviously we're talking about Andreya Triana on the track Puzzle, and I believe you're doing another video with Nick Rutter.
That's right, yeah.
Who was the director of your track Without You,
yeah.
which is stunning and heart-wrenching at the same time, twisted.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that video first. Was that an idea he came to you with, or did you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Nick's always had a very keen imagination when it comes to music videos, and he's always wanted to do some really crazy, sort of bizarre stuff. And I you know, just as much as I look up to video directors like Chris Cunningham, let's say, and the work that he's done in the past that can be very kind of controversial in a way, but also kind of stylistically beautiful. And I think Nick is, I mean, I don't want to compare the two, but if I could draw a comparison, it would be between them two. And I think Nick has a really good eye for these types of videos that I would personally want to make too. He initially approached me with the idea through a mutual friend, and ever since then we've kind of always wanted to work on a bigger and bigger and bigger project. And you know, the video that we're going to work on at the moment, I don't want to disclose too many details, but it is along a sort of similar vein. It is pretty gnarly. There's some really interesting ideas there, but you know, it's a great idea too, and I think it will do really well.
Pieces of a broken puzzle, they don't fit no more, not like before. Visions of the past cut into, closing all the doors, falling through the floor. I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't need this.
Talking about going to LA and film and stuff, and obviously, you know, you're very interested in all that. Could you do a kind of full-length film with Nick?
Totally, yeah. He's already got some ideas about like a sort of short film / sort of feature-length sort of thing, and I mean, we've been in talks for a little while now. And we're definitely thinking about doing something quite big in the future as well.
Look forward to that.
Yeah.
Let's stop for another track from your list. What else have you picked in?
Okay, so I'll pick Bjork, Desired Constellation.
Just Bjork generally, or particularly this track?
I'd say, yeah, Bjork in general. But this track for me is I don't know, it's off Medulla. Yeah, it's. And I mean, the whole album's amazing for me, and first time hearing that, I was like, Jesus, like, you know, using the Icelandic choir in it, and and everything was really perfect for that time for me, experimenting with sound and stuff myself. And I don't know, there's something about the simplicity of the track and just the way that sound in the background is like bit crushed, but it's still recognisable, and it's this like granular texture that's shifting. I was always into that sort of granular sort of sound, and I think that track really sums up the album really in a slightly off way. And yeah, I really like that. Cool. I really like that track.
All right, we'll have a quick listen to Bjork.
It's tricky when you feel someone has done something on your behalf. It's slippery when your sense of justice murmurs underneath, and is asking you, how am I going to make it right? How am I going to make it right? With a palm full of stars, I throw them like dice repeatedly on the table. Repeatedly, I shake them like dice and throw them on the table. Repeatedly, until the desired constellation appears. How am I going to make it right? How am I going to make it right? How am I going to make it right? Did you hear? How am I going to make it right? How am I going to make it right? How am I going to make it right? How am I going to make it right?
I was just going to ask you about, you've obviously done quite a few remixes. Your process to approaching a remix, how do you go about it? Do you listen carefully to the original, or do you try not to?
I try
Do you
not
literally
to.
just take the stems and go at it?
Yeah, I try and listen, I don't want to listen to the actual original. I'll give it a brief listen, but I won't listen to it all the way through. And, I really approach every single one differently. It's a very, I don't want to say easy process, but it's a very sort of simple process for me. Having the stems already there, and I enjoy editing stuff anyway, so it's really just a case of just snipping bits out, resampling, shifting bits around and stuff, and making it my own, really. So I think, I mean, with any sort of remix work, I'm always on the ball with it. I'm kind of really into it. But you know that it does come with its kind of boundaries as well. Some labels that I work like doing the remixes for want it a certain way, and they want to sort of guide the way it goes, and I'm really not down for that. Like it's all about kind of with me having the creative freedom and the trust from the label to provide something that would be good on a level that they've asked me to do. So yeah.
Can you pick one remix that you're particularly proud of?
I do really enjoy the Andreya Triana remix that I did not too long ago. I think that was the most recent one, and the Acid one as well. That was really fun to do.
Let's have another track from your list.
Okay, I'm going to go with Bill Evans, Jade Visions, Take Two, I guess.
Any particular reason on this track? Is it?
I don't know, with anything with Bill Evans. I mean, this is off a live recording album. I only heard about him through a friend of mine, actually, that was researching all this jazz and just all these sort of piano jazz artists. And yeah, I don't know, something about the way that the double bass plays with the piano in this track that I don't know, it just does something to me. I think it's just very sort of emotive, very flowing, and I think actually it's also in a sketch by who's that guy? He did like the Day-to-Day.
Chris Morris.
Yeah. There's like this. I remember hearing it, like watching like Jam, or you know that program, one of his really early sketch shows, and it was this sketch there, and I remember hearing it in the background, but I inadvertently sampled it, thinking it was out of the show, but it turns out it was this track in that show, and it was kind of a weird sort of moment there. But yeah, I mean, this track just stands out by itself as a really great track by Bill. Yeah.
Okay, let's have a bit of Bill Evans. Cool. Okay, so what's coming up? Are you doing lots of dates and gigs?
Yeah.
This, or?
At the moment, I'm in sort of a transitional state, so I'm moving from place to place and living in different places at the moment. So it's been kind of tricky to orchestrate the whole thing. But the team working on all the tour stuff are getting in action now and trying to sort out American dates around Japan and stuff, and everywhere else, every other territory really. Closest one's coming up, I think, probably European dates. But yeah, there's information online about other stuff coming up as well, I think.
You said you wanted to leave and no I can't wait. It's your face hanging around or running away. And all my friends try to tell it to me straight. You know those people that you say you hate. They hurt the pain, the love we lost. With almost games you played, trying to cut me off. They hurt the pain, the love we lost. When you turn to me and say to start it now.
Thanks very much for coming in, doing the interview. We'll finish with your final choice then from your list of tracks.
It's William Basinski, Disintegration Loops 1.1.
All right, thanks very much, and I'm sure the album will do very well, and good luck with all your gigs.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Our thanks to Lapalux for dropping by. His new album, Lustmore, is out in April on the Brainfeeder record label. Now let's turn our attention to some of the new releases that are coming out on the Ninja Tune family of labels, and we have a great selection, starting off with the Lord of Big Dada, Roots Manuva, called Feisty 211, produced by none other than Fortet.
poetry, flowers, it's all flowetry, power, prepare, honors to honors deep, I'm on it, so here for hours and hours in here, shedding them tears of joys, oi, alloys of noise, not so, got to get, got on to get me, whether you do or you don't, it don't sweat me, teeth with technique, but bear not the passion, we smash you little half hearts, beating you back to being
so brace, 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 so brace.
That was Face T211 by Roots Manuva on Big Dada. Next we have Dorian Concept and his track Draft Culture, which has been remixed by Nathan Fake. The Nathan Fake remix of Draft Culture by Dorian Concept, which is on the Joined Ends remix EP on Ninja Tune. Next, it's the return of Amon Tobin with his Dark Jovian EP, which has a special Record Store Day release coming out on heavyweight etched white vinyl. Was Amon Tobin with a piece from his Dark Jovian EP. We move on to the Counter label for a track by Howling called Stole the Night.
we dressed the fire. Blonde on blonde, we stole the night. Only lips move, I'm just your star. I peel for you, you reach inside.
That was Howling with Stole the Night, and that's coming out on Counter. And we finish with Jaga Jazzist and a track called Starfire. This is the title track from their new album, which is coming out on Ninja Tune. That was Jaga Jazzist and Starfire on Ninja Tune. That's it for the Ninja Tune podcast with myself, DK. My thanks, as always, to assistant producer Tom, and we'll be back again with another edition very soon.